All right, guys. Sorry for the long delay on the next podcast episode. I had this ready to go weeks ago, but unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties as we were trying to get the podcast up. Micah, you care to explain what happened first?
Yeah, so I uploaded it onto YouTube to the podcast, and then YouTube decided that we have this clip of Bad Bunny on SNL, and YouTube decided that violated copyright protocols, so it took down the video. So that's why you guys haven't been able to see it because we kind of had to re-edit it a little bit to make it not violate those copyright laws.
Which is just really stupid. This is what happens when YouTube is run by an Indian. Yep. So any of you guys wanna, I know like anyone with a brain who's like been on YouTube for like the past decade knows that there's been a huge dip with the quality in the algorithm with who they choose to promote and like which channels have been getting shadow banned and their stupid copyright policy laws, which we only use like a minute of that, but apparently that was enough to be a violation of YouTube's copyright claim. And I don't even know if it's because like if it was like an algorithm, like if it was just the algorithm seeking out claims, or if it was because we were making fun of Bad Bunny. But yeah, that plus, when you watch a normal YouTube video and they throw 10 ads of video, that's what happens when YouTube is run by a fucking G. Every single time. It's always one of the J's. It's always one of them. How about you make some songs in our language? Little taco retard. Anyways, yeah, sorry for the delay on the podcast. That's pretty much why it was happening, but we'll make sure to get more episodes out. The next episode, we're gonna have a pretty interesting topic. The topic's gonna be on if homosexuals should be allowed to adopt kids. Spoiler alert: we don't think that should be legal. And yeah, so go ahead and enjoy the podcast. Now we're gonna kind of go onto a little bit of a side topic, one that isn't as serious, but I think has kind of showed the state of where our society is, and that has to do with sports. So, Micah, why don't you give the people your opinion on sports, on how if you personally enjoy watching these days, and if you think whether or not it truly contributes to society.
I like sports. I think that sports are important to kind of get people to stop thinking about what's like going on in the world. I suppose it's like a big distraction, and it makes it to where you don't have to like always stay in tune to the news. On Sundays you can just kind of turn your brain off and watch some football, or something like that. So I think that it's important to try to keep people relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we're kind of in an epidemic of people that get too invested into it?
I mean, I guess there are people that do get too invested into it, but I don't think anybody's like violently invested into it, where they're gonna like start shooting people or something.
Unless if you're a fan of the Philadelphia Eagles.
I mean, yeah, Philadelphia has always been kind of like that, but they're just passionate, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I heard that I think it was maybe the first game against the Eagles and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl where Mahomes ran into the touchdown and won them the game. And I think there were riots going on in Philadelphia over that.
Yeah, there was. Not like big riots, but like there were some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the side of sports that like I hate the most. Like, I think what you described is a very moderate and laid back observation. Like, you don't get like super personally invested into every little aspect of a football player or the team or whatever. You kind of sound more like someone who just watches the game on Sunday and just leaves it at that, and then
Yeah,
you go about.
I want I want the team to win, but you know, I'm not gonna. It's not gonna like ruin my day if they lose. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point as well, and I actually feel that same way. Since I am like I'm not trying to sound hypocritical, but I am like a UFC fan. Now, my whole thing about sports is that if you like, for me, like I actually participated in martial arts, and so um, that organization was kind of more appealing to me. And there's like a whole like growth, like a lot of young men are getting into UFC nowadays. But there used to be a time, I say 2 years ago, when I got super into the UFC, where I was like watching every single old fight and stuff, and like getting overly invested and passionate about, you know, I was like, oh, I really want this guy to win. And then if a guy who I wanted to win didn't win, and I would get mad and annoyed. Like an example, when Sean O'Malley fought Marab for the first time, I remember being kind of pissed off because Sugar lost. And fast forward to now, like obviously I have my certain favorites, like, yeah, I would like for those guys to win, but it's not like super personal to me because it doesn't really affect me in my personal life at all. I still have my missions that I gotta stay true to. But it is nice to, like you said, kind of have a more moderate and laid back approach to it. And honestly, I feel like that's when you enjoy sports the most. I think getting too invested into sports and sports teams and like fighters and players and stuff, I feel like that's when it actually gets miserable.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that a lot of people, they get super into it because they start betting on it, and then when like a referee makes a bad call or something, they actually just lost like $1,000, so then they get really upset. Which I kind of
Yeah.
get that, but I try to stay away from sports betting just because I feel like it makes it more stressful, and I don't enjoy watching it
Mhm.
as much.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's only one thing that needs to happen in all sports. This should be applicable to all sports. When you're watching, there should be an option to watch with the commentary off.
I would like that. Sometimes the commentary on the football games or anything that I watch is just so annoying, and I feel like it'd be a lot more entertaining if I was actually able to like talk with my buddies and I didn't have Joe Buck and and like what's his name, Troy Aikman, like just blabbing in my ear about something stupid. Like I know how the game works. I don't need Joe Buck's opinion on what a great catch. Like I just don't care.
Well, also, microphone technologies have improved, and it's actually way more fun and entertaining to hear the crowd and to hear the clash of, the players and stuff. And
Hmm.
I was watching, I was doing a drawing, and I had a fight playing on the background, and it was an old UFC fight, Connor versus Khabib, but there was no commentary, and so all what you could hear is the crowd, the like in and everything going on inside the cage, and the two corners talking shit to each other.
Yeah, I bet
Like
that's
that,
super interesting. The two
like that
corners.
is that is way more fun to watch than to hear the commentators sometimes, because commentators in all fronts have a certain bias and will just say like really, like sometimes you just hear like really dumb stuff
Yeah.
said. um and so that being said, I kind of want to go a little deeper and ask your opinion about the Super Bowl specifically, and if you think that the Super Bowl has now just become overrated, and that there's too many people that just needlessly care about it a lot.
Um, I feel like the Super Bowl is fun because you're watching football for like 4 to 5 months, and it just takes forever. And the teams that are in the Super Bowl, they're really good players. And if it's a good Super Bowl, I think it's worth the hype. But there have been years where it's just like a terrible Super Bowl and it's like a
Hmm.
blowout, which always sucks.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think we are past the times, like the kind of golden era of the Super Bowl, or do you think,
no, I think it's getting better. Like it's more entertaining, I think. Because if you watch like the first 10 Super Bowls, they're so boring. It's like the final score is like 12-9, and it's just a bunch of field goals. I think that football gets more entertaining as it goes on. Um,
okay.
I think that a lot of people treat the Super Bowl like a holiday, and they get all the food and
Yeah.
they make, you got the chicken wings and the chips or whatever and whatever you get. I think that it's just, American football is the most popular sport in America, and it's like this is the end of it, and then we're not going to have football again for like 7 months. So a lot of people kind of celebrate it in that way because, like I said earlier, it is kind of a way for you to kind of like forget about actual news and actual reality for a little while, and you get to support your team, and there's no politics involved, which is nice because there's just so many politics in everything nowadays. And yeah.
Well, I feel like they've kind of incorporated a little bit of politics into not like the games themselves, of course, but in terms of the promotions, who they choose to have in their halftime show, which we'll get to in a little bit,
Well,
and
yeah,
certain advertisements that plays.
it's really weird because for the most part, when you're actually at a football game, the songs that they usually play in between plays are like rock songs, like old rock songs, and then at the halftime show, they always have like these weird, fruity, like hip hop people that come on and they sing some song that is like, I don't know, some just white girl song. I think that they'd
Yeah.
probably get more people tuning into the halftime show if they had like some classic rock or even just like, I don't know, like Nirvana or something, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
I
know this commercial too.
Yeah, so I wanted to show you the reason why the whole reason why I chose to just not really care about football in general. Like to be honest, I was always someone that never watched the main season but would watch the Super Bowl. I
Hmm.
was that guy. But in my head, and I think there's a lot of people in my boat, and now I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? Like it just doesn't mean anything to me. If I don't care about what's going on in the main season, am I really going to care about the outcome of the Super Bowl? No. Um,
Yeah,
but it's like you said,
The Super Bowl's just fun because it's like a celebration. It's not just a game,
yeah,
but you're also at home. Your dad or your mom or whoever makes like a bunch of food and stuff, and like you usually have
yeah,
family over or something, or even like when I was at college last year, I had a bunch of guys over at my dorm, and we just like watched the game and had a little smokies and stuff, and brought an arrangement
hmm,
of alcohols. It was nice.
yeah, for sure,
It's like a reason to get together with your buddies, basically, is kind of what the Super Bowl is
yeah.
for me now.
Hmm. Well, I feel like that's what we did when we watched UFC fights at my place. We spent like less time watching the actual fights and more time just talking about like our whole school life, pretty
Yeah,
much.
just catching up, basically.
Hmm. Yeah. That's honestly my excuse as to why I play sports in the first have sports playing on my big TV in the first place. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna show you this. I'm sure there's a bunch of you guys who probably remember this, but this is a "He Gets Us" ad, and yeah, I'm gonna just play it. All right, right here is going to be another pause because the other copyright claim was for a copyrighted song on this advertisement. So we're just going to go ahead and let the video play because the images speak more for itself anyway. And to be honest, that song is kind of cringe anyway. So yeah, just hold your horses and we'll get back to our commentary very soon.
Jesus loved everyone. Obviously, they mean well, but I think that they just don't have good theological views. We could also
Well,
do
here,
a podcast on that too. How like a lot of Christians are like
yeah.
fake Christians, and It's like,
Yeah.
just love everyone no
So
matter what they do, no
let's
matter how much they
let's
sin.
use
It's
this
like,
as a
okay.
teaser for what an upcoming podcast episode will be. Hell, this could even be the next one that we talk about. But this, in my opinion, is trying to guilt Christians into having tolerance for intolerable actions.
Yeah, like riots.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Uh,
And the quote, "Love your enemies." Did the Bible actually say "love your enemies," or is it "love your neighbor"?
it is one where it says
Like,
love your enemies. Yeah, it does say that.
mm,
But it means it differently. It
mm-hmm.
doesn't say don't condemn your enemies. Like the Bible never says
Yeah,
like just let them do whatever they want. That's not what it says.
yeah,
It says like forgive them basically, and like
yeah.
everybody
And
is willing, like everyone can be saved. And so,
forgiveness, forgiveness does not mean to condone actions or to grant like legal mercy in any way.
mhm.
Like try saying that to the victims, the parents of the victims that have died.
Yeah, that we talked about
The
earlier.
the father of Logan Federico, yeah, tell him to just straight up
Federico.
love the man that killed his little girl, and tell the man whose 6-year-old kid was stabbed to death.
Yeah,
Yeah, you go ahead and tell him to love and be and not condemn the actions of
yeah.
the murderer. So it's just this virtue signaling that just really bothers the hell out of me. And once again, um, like I'm like I just don't. I feel like we're living in a time to where the tolerance of Christians is being taken advantage of
Well,
to
because
such an extreme.
like the Bible does say, forgive everybody, but it doesn't say let everyone off the hook. Like
Exactly.
that's why God has laws and stuff. I mean, if you look at the Old Testament laws, and even in the New Testament, there's like several laws that talk about how, if somebody does a crime, then, there should be like a system that puts them in jail, and that they should be punished of some sort by
Yeah.
like the wise people in the society should judge people. And so, even though we can forgive everybody for what they did, that doesn't mean that nobody should be punished. And there
Hmm.
are definitely people that should be punished.
Yeah. So that's why I found that commercial just super shady.
Yeah.
Um,
He also,
I'd like to do my own research behind the scenes on this specific organization and just get some more information about it. But um, yeah, I mean, with the way times are pushing right now, tolerance is getting taken advantage of to the point to where tolerance sooner or later will no longer be an option.
well, I guess it really just depends on what you believe, I suppose. I think that like, as a Christian, I should forgive everybody, but I can
Hmm.
still, like, just be like, well, you did this, so you're going to have to go to
Hmm.
jail for this much time.
Yeah.
When you're out of jail, though, I'm not going to hold it against you if you do your time. If some judge lets you out early,
But
then you didn't do your
yeah.
time, and so then it's like, I don't know if I can still trust
Yeah.
you. But also with this commercial, like the NFL like didn't make this commercial, and so the commercials that are on the Super Bowl is just whoever pays the most money gets a spot
Hmm.
on the commercials. And so I kind of get how this is kind of a politically based commercial, and it definitely has like political aspects to it. But
Hmm.
I don't like blame the NFL for showing this commercial during the Super Bowl
Hmm.
because they're just trying to make money. And so the
Yeah.
NFL always tries to stay out of politics, but they can have political commercials every once in a while because those guys always pay the most. The
Hmm.
government always pays a lot of money to have
Well,
their commercials up.
well, yeah. The NFL isn't going to say no to 10 million because I think it costs like 30 million every, not 30 minutes, 5 million every 30 seconds of
Yeah, I could see
Super
that.
Bowl AdSense.
It's a lot to have a Super Bowl ad.
So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. We'll probably have a little bit more of a longer theological conversation about tolerance and Christianity, and if there really should be a limit to it. And in my opinion, like, I don't believe I'll try to give like a more personal example. Like, let's say, for example, someone breaks into my house and kills one of my family members. I don't think I'm going to heaven or hell based on whether or not if I personally forgive him.
Well, yeah. I mean, we are all born into sin, and I think that, forgiving somebody is very difficult. And I think, I don't even know if I would be able to forgive someone or not if they killed my entire family. Like, I don't know, because that's never happened to me. I've never faced that type of trouble with my own heart, but I'd like to think that I could, but I don't know if I could or not. Like, actually, I don't know if I truly could. Like, I could say that I did, like, oh yeah, I forgave him, but I don't know if I would actually ever in my heart forgive him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, well,
anyway, Bad Bunny, right?
Yeah, so kind of going back to the whole Super Bowl thing, and another reason why I don't watch is because a lot of these halftimes are trash. Like, the last good halftime that I watched was the one with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem.
Yeah, that was pretty
and
good.
Kendrick. Like, that one was pretty good.
For this halftime, they were trying to get Taylor Swift, but usually the halftime show, they don't pay the performer. The performer just does it for like free advertising, basically. But Taylor Swift wouldn't be paid, so they're like, yeah, we're not paying you. So that's why they always have kind of these B tier people that are coming on, except for, I mean, I guess Eminem, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg aren't B tier, but but they always kind of, it's like every other year they have someone that's actually really recognizable, and then like the next year they have somebody like Bad Bunny, where it's like, who the frick is this?
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna just go ahead and start playing this clip.
But I'm doing the Super Bowl halftime show.
Why is he talking like that?
And I'm very
Because he's a fag.
I'm very happy, and I think everyone is happy about it. Even Fox News.
Bad Bunny is my favorite
musician,
and he should be the next president.
Wow, bro, that was hilarious.
Ha 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 ha.
That's the greatest joke I've ever heard of all time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bro, my mom would always tell me about how Saturday Night Live used to be a funny show back in like the 90s or whatever. And clearly it's fallen off, if that is actually the case.
No, but really, I'm very excited to be doing the Super Bowl, and I know that people all around the world who love my music are also happy, especialmente todos los latinos.
My fucking God.
Y las latinas en el mundo entero y aquí en los Estados Unidos, todas las personas que han trabajado para abrir puertas, más que un logro mío.
Is the rest of it in Spanish?
Yeah, I was about to ask. So, did you get any of that?
I don't speak enough Spanish to actually understand it. So, I know enough Spanish to like be able to like maybe walk around a city and be like, "Where's the bathroom?" Or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough to actually understand what people are saying.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
So, what this guy says, and some people on Twitter translated it for us. He pretty much says that everybody should go out and learn Spanish so that they can enjoy his songs.
Okay, like that's not like a terrible thing to say. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to. Like, I'm not going to go out and learn Spanish. But, well, I mean, because English is like the world's language at this point anyway. There's no point in learning Spanish.
Well, here's the thing, too. Like, this is just... like you talk about like, American football is like the biggest American sport, and yet they're gonna have someone that's the exact opposite of that. And
Well, Spanish people
like,
like they're still counted as a not a United States of Americans, right? But they're still like Central Americans, And I mean, but still, Central Americans don't even like football, like American football. They like soccer.
well,
So
they don't, and most of them don't even like America in the first place, even though they still choose to stay here anyway.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, all the more the reason when you take into it, 'cause they're probably going to do another "He Gets Us" ad in the Super Bowl, maybe, and then the fact that you have Bad Bunny and not someone like, oh, I don't know, Creed. Why don't we have Creed do a Super Bowl instead?
yeah, that'd be pretty hype. I bet a lot of
That
people
would
would
be
like it.
awesome. Yeah,
Or even if they just had like remember, wasn't it last year they had Kendrick Lamar? That was cool.
yeah.
Like I like Kendrick. I don't know why they don't pick more people like that. Like I don't even. I'm sure I could probably recognize some Bad Bunny songs, but he's not big enough to where I actually hear his name and think of a song because I don't know him associated with any songs. I could probably recognize one if you played it, but like I don't even know what Bad Bunny does. Like what is his song? I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's I don't know. Like I'm just trying to say, like, watching the upcoming Super Bowl would just be a massive waste of my time, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
The
And
only
I know you're probably gonna watch it with all your college friends, but it's not like any of you guys are looking forward to watching the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show presented by
No,
Apple Music.
I'm
Like,
not.
you guys are just gonna watch just to talk crap and
Probably make
eat
fun of it.
food, drink, and hang out. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll probably just make some chicken wings or something and stuff
like
my face. I'm not
the only
I'm not there for Bad Bunny.
yeah, the only thing I expect you guys to do is just to make fun of them as you watch it. But
Yeah.
there was another situation that happened similar to this one about a couple of years ago. So about a couple of years ago, back in the old apartment days of us, uh, so it was me, you, Legend, and Ryder that were there at the time,
Ryder.
and we were watching
Yeah,
the NBA All Star 2023 game.
that's right.
And actually, I was having fun because Legend kept placed all of his bets on Donovan Mitchell to score a certain amount of points,
He
and
wanted
they
Donovan
kept they
Mitchell
kept
to he wanted Donovan Mitchell to be the MVP of the game.
yeah,
And
and
so he
they
put a lot of
kept
money on it.
passing the ball to Jason Tatum. He's like, "Stop passing the ball to Tatum."
Yeah, Jason Tatum got the MVP of that game. And
Yeah.
Legend lost like $100 or something.
Poor Legend. But we get to this halftime, and from what I recall, like this halftime was pretty much all like African culture music,
That's right. Yeah.
and all of us were just sitting there like,
It was so confusing. I was
yeah.
like, what is going on? I mean, I kind of get it. Like, open your horizons and listen to something new. But, like, I've already heard that kind of music before, and it doesn't interest me. And I'm sure there's a lot more. No monkey noises. Put that away. I'm sure that there's. I'm sure that there's a lot of people who like had the same sentiment as me, where it's like I've heard that like tribal African music, and I mean, it's interesting, I guess, but I'm not gonna listen to it on the Spotify. No, turn it off, bro.
So expect with anyone else who like watched that NBA halftime show, expect a very similar thing to happen. Expect all your friends to say this.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Yeah,
So anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Super Bowl and Bad Bunny and halftime shows and all that stuff. Now we're kind of gonna get on to our last topic of the day. Recently, Piers Morgan did an interview with Andrew Tate because he was found not guilty on a bunch of charges that were against him in England. We're not really going to be talking about that. I just kind of want to get your opinion on this clip that I'm about to play.
Because it was all completely fake. Please understand, in any other country, which isn't so corrupt, prosecutors would be in jail for what they did to me here. You can't just make up victims and make up papers and print out lies and put people in jail.
Let me ask you a question. Just talking to you today, you sound very calm, very direct, completely different to how you were in our last interview, where you started ranting quite regularly about all sorts of stuff. And at the end of it, we got into it about your views about women's place in society. You said they should have no right to vote, they should have no power, they should not have any job, they should stay at home, and so on. And I got a lot of feedback to that, which was, whatever you think of Andrew Tate, whether you think he's guilty or not of these charges, and we just don't know yet because they're still ongoing. But whatever you think of him, he does himself absolutely no favors in the way that he talks about women. And he does it so brazenly and with such apparent pride. You know, when you think back to our last exchange, are you entirely comfortable with the way that you talked about women in that interview?
Absolutely. I think you just misunderstand me. Women are very powerful creatures. In fact, they're magical creatures because they give life. And a woman's power is to give life and to be a feminine woman who is the head of a beautiful family and to have as many children with the man she loves as possible. That is what women are fantastic at. That is what society needs. Our birth rates are collapsing. And that's what inspires men to be their best selves. When men see they have a wife who's had their children, that makes a man want to be a good man for that woman. I never said women are powerless. I said that protecting society is the job of men. Police officers should be men, and that the voting and the political matters and the judicial system, a lot of that should be men, because we are evolutionarily designed to protect territory in a way that females perhaps aren't. And it's our job to protect women. We're not trying to protect ourselves. A man's trying to protect his wife, protect his kids, protect his society, protect his town. And I think that the reason that the Western societies are in such trouble now is that everything is conflated. The men are doing the things that women are actually good at innately, and the women are doing things that the men are innately good at. I believe we have God-given talents, and I believe if we all stick to what we're naturally good at, it will optimize our society. It's not a matter of hating women, Piers. It's not a matter of saying that women have no power. It's not a matter of trying to subjugate women at all. It's a matter of protection. It's a matter of me understanding as a man, I have certain duties and certain jobs to do. And I believe a woman has certain duties and certain jobs to do. And that's why I have so many fantastic relationships with women. That's why I have so many children. That's why I take care of them so fantastically and keep them safe. That's why they look up to me and admire me and love me. If I was truly a misogynist, I wouldn't be suffering from all of these offspring and all of these beautiful relationships which I have. So I think it's just a matter of misunderstanding.
As you were talking, I just reminded that this weekend the England women's rugby team became world champions, and I watched that game. I don't think they need any help from you, and I don't think they need any guidance about what a woman's place in the world should be. They're world champions because they play a sport at a supremely elite level. I watched it and could not believe the staggering amount of skill and power and pace on display in a women's rugby match. And that's to their great credit. So they shouldn't all be kept at home, because actually that's not what most women want to do. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Andrew Tate, I appreciate.
Okay. So Tate pretty much goes on like he pretty much just says a lot of he says some things that are like, here are the biological facts, and then here are the roles that we should play because of our biological differences, essentially. I would like to hear your opinion on on how Piers chose to respond to him.
I think that that was a pretty weak argument that he picked up with the women's rugby team. Obviously, those women have been training for a long time to be big and strong, and that they're and that the fact that they won a world championship doesn't necessarily mean that they're totally qualified to run a family on their own. You know, they don't need a man. I feel like I'm not qualified to run a family on my own, and that I'd need a woman, to do the stuff that I can't do. And so I think that Piers Morgan's his opinion, his argument was basically just the rugby team, they're strong, independent women. And it's okay, sure.
And he's talking about a very, very small
I
percentage
know.
of
How many women
of
play
people
rugby?
or
Like,
sport or professional sports in general.
I know. Yeah, it's even like sports don't really represent how the real world is, and that's why people like watching sports because it's
Well,
like they're extraordinary athletes. Like
here,
hardly any men are actually playing sports too.
yeah. Well, like here's my thing about sports that I just wanted to. It was kind of the point I was saying earlier. It's nothing but mindless entertainment for everyone else to do. Like
Yeah,
if all sports went away now, society would still run as it is.
it would. It
We
probably wouldn't
don't
be as
need
fun,
these.
but it wouldn't.
No,
I feel like I
it
wouldn't
would
have
not be
anything
as
to look
fun.
forward to during the weekend, or like with UFC matches. Like you look forward to those, and I feel like it
Yeah,
makes.
but I don't need them.
Well,
I
no,
spend
yeah.
my weekends editing our podcast, editing, videos I do for my art stuff and doing art. I spend my weekend like chasing my dreams essentially. And what sports is from my perspective is it's just a distraction that keeps me away from pursuing my dreams. If I wasn't overly invested, 2 years ago, when it came to UFC, when I got over obsessed with it, all that time I wasted being overly invested in UFC is time I could have spent figuring out things that I wanted to do with my own life.
Yeah, you're right. I think that
And
sports are a distraction.
and Tate, like his arguments, like he makes a lot of like decent arguments about what women, not only women's roles in society, but a man's role in society as well. And I'm not here to, I'd rather just save that for a whole nother podcast if we're going to really talk about that issue. But Piers didn't even try. He didn't really make any good counterpoints to him at all.
Yeah.
He just said, well, these small percentage of women provide entertainment for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
and
literally what he said.
it's,
Yep.
like, I think that's why I was asking you earlier about if people get too heavily into sports. And, I personally think that most people do. I think that most people spend too much time with any sorts of mindless entertainment, whether it's sports, TV, video games, whatever it is. And like in my opinion, like I just wouldn't, like it just doesn't keep civilization going.
No, it
Is kind of
definitely
my point
it
about
definitely doesn't. I mean, if you look at the majority of civilization, like if you look throughout history, the majority of civilizations didn't have sports. I mean, it really probably became a big thing in the Roman times with the gladiators and stuff.
Yes.
And
I was just about go ahead. My bad.
I feel like sports, like obviously it doesn't make society function any better. I just think that it's just something to try to, like, people like to watch it because working hard is hard, right? And a lot of people want to watch sports because it's a reason not to work. And it's like something to do on their weekend because a lot of people, they don't do anything fun anymore. Like they don't go out and go hunting and they don't go on camping trips. And they don't do a lot of hikes. They just kind of sit and go to work and then they come back and they sit in their house and they try to distract themselves by doing something. And sports is a really big distractor because it's long, it's like 3 hours to watch a football game. So that's a huge distraction. Or on Sunday, you can watch like 3 games, or you could put on Red Zone and watch all the games. And then you're watching Red Zones for 8 hours. And then you watch Sunday Night Football at the end, and it's also another 3-hour game. And so you're literally watching football from 11 a.m. till like 9 p.m. Or I guess if you're like on the East Coast, you'd be watching it from like 9 a.m. till like, or sorry, East Coast. Yeah, you'd be watching it from like 9 a.m. to, I don't know, probably like 7 or 8 p.m. or something like that. So I think it's just a huge distraction that people like to watch because they don't want to go out and do something. I feel like society would be a lot more productive probably if there wasn't sports. But I think that sports are really good. It's just for some reason people, I feel like they make stupid stuff more important than it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
And like people don't want to go out and learn skills anymore. Like working on your own car. So I mean, I guess cars are more advanced than they used to be, but somebody in the 1950s probably could just go out and fix their car because instead of sitting there watching TV all day, they actually went out and learned how to do that. And a lot of people, they just don't have very good practical skills except for what their job is. They have like really good like specified skills from their degree in college or whatever their job happens to be wherever, but they don't have a very good like general assessment of skills. They don't have a wide variety of skills. I feel like that's what society is missing because I feel like people used to have quite a bit of skills. You know, you sew your own clothes and you'd like do your own farming and stuff way back in the day and stuff like that. Hardly anybody actually had enough money to go to the grocery store and buy food from somebody else. They would just grow their own stuff. And now that we're in a country that's like super rich and there's an abundance of everything, it just makes us weaker because we don't have to actually try hard to do what is necessary for us to live.
Yeah, well, it is very interesting that you did bring up Rome, and you know, a point I was going to make about Rome is the entertainment was at its highest in Rome when it was falling, and I try to study history to try to predict the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of see that a similar thing happening with America, where the entertainment is at its highest, and you know that, and there's all sorts of different people that have that different, that there's just an unlimited amount of things to be like entertained by, whether if it's good for you or not. Like, you know, if it's video games, if it's fake reality TV shows, if it's sports. And so I just like the overall message I kind of want to put out there is, look, if you want to enjoy things that don't have to do with your work, that's okay. Just try to put some moderation on it. Kind of like, you know, if you were to give people like advice when it came to drinking alcohol, to not go overboard often.
Mm-hmm.
And to really spend a lot of your time pursuing your own dreams, because in America, you know, we're in a country to where it is possible to work really hard, pursue our dreams, and possibly achieve them. And I think because of the fact that there's so much mindless entertainment, there's a huge swaths of people that will never achieve their dreams because of how good the entertainment is. And at the end of the day, you know, it's up to us. You know, it's not the jobs of, you know, government to come in and be like, okay, don't watch too much football, this or that. Like, all of us need to take our own responsibility for what we're doing. Like let me put you in a like fake hypothetical scenario, even though I know this is probably not going to happen. Let's say you got a huge test to study for, but you could either do that or you could watch the Bad Bunny halftime show. Which one is like more important to you?
I think the studying probably.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's kind of my whole thing about sports and entertainment as a whole. I don't really have much else to say. Sorry, I saw the monkey.
Bro, get rid of the monkey. Get rid of it.
It's so funny.
It's dumb and it's mean.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. This might be our longest podcast so far. So if you want to go ahead and outro us, I think we'll be good.
Yeah, I think that's it. We don't have anything else to talk about. Yeah, so everyone who watched, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Follow on Instagram, please. Thank you. And I guess me and Carlos will see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Yep. See you later, guys.
Down the Marco.